The night of the uninvited. When Saad invited me for a weekend at his father's house, I hesitated. Saad, the rich kid with the huge house and the parents always away on business trips, was known for throwing lavish parties. This weekend was no different. His parents were in the UAE, and he had decided to invite a bunch of us over. It sounded like fun, but something about his insistence that we join him felt off. Saad mentioned he was inviting a girl he'd been talking to on a dating website for a couple of weeks. He was excited, boasting about how tonight was the night. I felt a twinge of unease and told Saad that it might not be a good idea. But he and the other guys laughed it off, calling me a killjoy. When the girl arrived, she looked modest and came across as someone from a respectable family. Saad's eyes gleamed with excitement as he greeted her and led her upstairs. "Don't come upstairs, no matter what," he told us with a mischievous grin. We shrugged it off and settled in the living room, watching soccer. An hour passed, and suddenly, we heard loud, blood-curdling screams from upstairs. We exchanged nervous glances, unsure if it was a joke or something serious. Then Saad came barreling down the stairs, terror-stricken and clad only in his underwear. Behind him, the girl followed. But she wasn't the same girl anymore. She wasn't wearing anything, and when she spoke, her voice was deep, almost manly. "Why are you running? Come closer to me, lover boy," she taunted. We were paralyzed with fear. The transformation, her voice, everything about her was wrong. Saad was trembling, and for the first time, I saw true fear in his eyes. We bolted for the door, our panic overtaking any sense of reason. The girl's laughter echoed behind us as we ran out of the house. We pounded on the door of the neighbor's house, begging for help. When the elderly couple saw our terror-stricken faces and Saad's disheveled condition, they didn't hesitate to let us in. We couldn't even bring ourselves to call the police. What would we say? Would they even believe us? Hours passed, and we tried to calm down, the events replaying in our minds. Then we saw her again. She was standing across the street, fully dressed, looking confused. Saad ran to the window and shouted, "Go away." She flinched, her face a mix of hurt and bewilderment, as if she had no memory of what had transpired earlier. Without a word, she turned and walked away. We all breathed a collective sigh of relief, but the fear lingered. That night changed us. We knew we'd never forget the terror we experienced. Saad was never quite the same, and the rest of us couldn't shake the memory of that night. Even now, I sometimes wake up in a cold sweat, hearing that deep, taunting voice in my dreams, reminding me of the horrors that lurk just beyond the facade of normalcy.